what got you into the mortgage business originally?
Yeah, so in 2001, I went back to school to finish up my bachelor's degree. Somehow snuck my way into Northwestern in Chicago. So met some really interesting and smart people there. That's how I know I snuck in, because they were the smart people, but I was sneaky salesperson, right? So started in political science. My intention was to try to go off to law school, maybe be an attorney, because I really enjoyed Law and Order, and I figured that must be the way things go, right? It's just you just done, and off you go. Right? So,
Yeah, exactly. Slam a gavel down and yeah.
That's right. That's right. Like, oh, good, I win.
Yeah.
I'm a millionaire. So I had spent a couple of years in political science, started taking some business courses, had one course that was done by a stock trader who'd been at the Board of Trade in Chicago, and he was just had high energy and was super fun, made jokes all the time, was always drawing on the board about like traders are nuts, but really got into understanding some of the market stuff and really started leaning more like I really liked that. Well, one of the political science people that was one of my classmates had been a real estate agent in San Francisco for a while, and she was married to a broker, mortgage broker in Chicago. And one day she sat me down. She's like, I really think you should talk to my husband. I think you like the markets. You're fascinated by politics. And I think that this job would incorporate both. And so he was a pretty busy guy. They were coming through that refi boom from the 2001, 2002 recession, coming out of some of that tech bust, and didn't really want to talk to me. I was 29. He was probably pushing 40. Didn't know if I was serious, and took a few minutes. I think he wanted to impress me. So he said, I'm going to give you 30 minutes on of my time. So 8 o'clock Sunday morning, I'll be down on my boat in Lake Michigan. I was like, okay. So my butt was there 10 minutes early, and went on his boat. He showed me, it's not sexy, but he showed me a $10,000 check. And I was like, is that what you're making monthly? And he laughed at me and he said, son, that's what I make per file. And I was like, excuse me? So that was it. I was sold. Signed me up. So that's really how I got into it. Finished up my degree at Northwestern, which had bothered me for a while, but really didn't know how I would use politics in this. And then I learned about treasuries and the Fed and how all that plays into it, and realized I use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I really got into it.
Yeah. And then like getting into it, was it completely different than what you expected? What did you like about it, as you started to get into your career?
One of the questions I asked, his name was Dan Kaz. One of the questions I asked Dan on the boat was, at what point do you think this really gets boring? And he was like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And I thought, well, I just don't like, you're giving people mortgages. They're doing like writing applications. Like, how long will it take me to not be bored? And he was like, it's going to change every day. And so I really dove into that initially. And by the way, he was 100% accurate. I wish I was bored some days.
Yeah,
in my career. But I think I even forgot the question you asked me.
Yeah, just like what did you enjoy most about it as you were? Yeah,
that's it. I think that the fact that it's new every day. There are similar things, but there's so many different aspects of what's going on. Whether you're having to dive into a origination, helping someone with buying this property that they didn't ever think they could own, and how are they going to make those mortgage payments, to when they call back 4 or 5 years later and like, we're upgrading, right, to this next home. And you're thinking, I remember our conversations like, I can't buy a house, and now you're moving on to these next levels. I really enjoyed that right out of the gate.